Good morning, Facebook. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Huddle, where we start our day in a powerful way. My name is Giovanni Gonzalez, and I am excited and honored to be with all of you this morning. Welcome those of you who join us on Facebook, and welcome, a special welcome to those of you who are here in the live virtual studio of Zoom of the Daily Huddle. I am really excited to be with all of you. I'm excited about the conversation today. And my heart is also with everyone who has been a real voice to everything that has been going on in America. Really powerful transitions are happening. Things are moving, and a lot of pain as well is happening. So with that, all of that, we're going to have a powerful morning. And I get to introduce the #1 executive coaching expert, my business partner, friend, and mentor for many years, Mr. Sorel Catan. Good morning.
Good morning, Giovanni. It is always an honor to be introduced by you. It's kind of like, the leader of the world is introducing me, and that is you, the #1 transformational leadership coach, the man that needs no introduction. Introducing me, it's really an honor and a privilege. I am happy to be your co-host on the Daily Huddle, and I am just, moved and touched by the contribution that the Daily Huddle has been to people, and that the Daily Huddle has been to me personally. And I don't know if it's humorous or not, but it popped in my head, right? Forrest Gump says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. The Daily Huddle has been that way.
Yeah.
I never know what I'm gonna get, but you know what? I love chocolate. And every morning it's like that. So Andrea Villa, thank you for being on the Daily Huddle. Thank you for bringing chocolate. And thank you for feeding us alive. Giovanni, would you introduce Andrea?
Absolutely, Sorel. It is a pleasure to introduce Andrea. Andrea has been someone that I have been, just someone who I admire from far. And now I'm having to have a chance to hear her world and her life and her contributions, something I'm very passionate about and I really want to hear about. And I want to say a few things about Andrea. Andrea is someone who there's a lot of things to say, but I'm going to just pick a few. She was born in Colombia. She's a wonderful mother of 2 beautiful daughters, Valentina and Daniela, and they live with their pets, Pecas, Manchas, Pimienta, and Rayas. That's awesome. She's no cat lady, but she's a firm believer of veganism. In case you were wondering, she's challenge-oriented at heart, loves her family, enjoys life as much as organizing, cleaning, and having plants everywhere. Her boyfriend can testify that. Her deepest desire are to help others to better themselves. This is why she founded 2 companies, Our Selfos and myselfos. Our Selfos, she leads a group of civic-minded professionals who offer marketing and advertising advice and assistance to long underserved clients in civic government spheres. And myselfo, she helps procrastinators finish one project so that they can feel proud of themselves for accomplishing what they thought was an impossible goal. And today it's all about you and myselfo. And today she's going to get us started with the question around procrastination. Why is it that even though all of us are committed to something and all of us are committed to finish something, and it's just what we wake up in the morning, yet there's this human thing about leaving things until the end, right before the deadline. And then we say we're procrastinators. So Andrea has another kind of angle to this conversation. I'm excited about hearing it. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Awesome.
and clear.
Well, thank you so much, Giovanni and Sorel, for this presentation. Yes, I have a little bit of a different take into procrastination, so I'm really excited to start sharing it with you. So if we're everyone ready, I'm going to share my screen, guys, because I want to show some things about my thoughts. And also, yeah, we have a challenge today because this is all about thinking procrastination in a different way. So give me 1 second. Let me start sharing my screen. And you guys should see just one slide that outlines the question for today, which is how to hack your brain and relieve yourself from trying not to be a procrastinator. That's the whole thing. I'm not trying to change who you are. And that's my belief. So again, thank you so much, Giovanni and Sorel, for investing and building this amazing community. Honestly, it's a community of people that care. I appreciate what everyone does and what you do. And I want to thank everyone that joins in our live studio, but also in Facebook. First, I want to take time for us to take and pause and acknowledge what's happening in the world, particularly in our country regarding racism. I want you guys to take a deep breath and think about what we're doing and we are not doing to make racism stop. And I want everyone that has joined to pledge that by the end of this presentation, this meeting, that you're going to do something about it. My call is so you don't procrastinate in the things that matter. So that's what I wanted to start this presentation. Again, everyone take a deep breath, hold, think about what you're doing and what you are not doing to make racism stop. So now, if everyone is ready, let's just start talking about procrastination. I bet every single one of you, well, at least I have, asked, if I'm this smart, why can I not finish this project? Focus. Have time for myself, my family, the things that I want to do. Why I'm still here in the office if you're an employee. And it's so late. Why I'm not able to organize my closet, write a book, stop feeling freaking bored, finish what I started it yesterday, or even stop overthinking this. I have to believe that we all have asked ourselves that at some point in our lives. And we also need to acknowledge that we are skilled, experienced, competent professional human beings. We're excellent critical thinkers. We believe that we should have time for everything, for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, for health, leisure, doing nothing. Some of us, I'm talking about specifically me, my type of procrastination is I want to be a perfectionist. I'm always working on something and I don't finish because it needs to be perfect. So I have called myself a perfectionist. Some of us believe that we get distracted very easily. Some of us are not always late, but we're not always on time. We find hard to start working on something and we're not inspired. We sometimes, unfortunately, either overwork, overdrink, overthink, overeat. Is a lot of over. We do some sort of self-destructive routine. And at some point, we have said that we're overwhelmed, we're tired, we're exhausted, and we have either labeled ourselves or somebody has put that label on ours to be a procrastinators. So that's a little bit of who we are. And this presentation is all about breathing. So I need you now to take a deep breath again. And the idea and my belief is that we should not attack ourselves from who we are. Yes, the idea is not to feel bad about all the things that I just said. The idea is to understand who we are and how we act and why we act that way. The idea, and this is why I think that my beliefs and my vision and my view about procrastination is not to focus that we need to change. Everything that when I started my company, every search that I did was stop procrastination, stop procrastination. Now, my big belief is embrace procrastination so you can use it in your advantage. And the big thing is how we manage that urge to procrastinate. So if you're a procrastinator and you are okay with being a procrastinator, I would love for you to type in our chat, I am a procrastinator, so what? So if you guys can type or communicate, so if the chat is working, so embrace first of all that we're procrastinators, right? Now I'm gonna tell you 3 things that I believe about procrastination. I truly, deeply believe that procrastination is not about productivity. It's not about being effective. It's not about doing more things with less time. Forget about that. Oh, and I need to make a pause right here. I use a lot of bad words usually. So if one F word goes there, I'm doing my best not to do it. But if it goes out, I apologize in advance. So that for some announcements in the middle. So I want to go back to why I believe that procrastination is not about productivity. I truly, truly, deeply believe is about feelings. And I believe that feelings are not something that just happens to us. No, there's a circumstance. There's something that is happening, which is neutral. You have a thought about what's happening to you. That thought makes you feel some way. Then you either act or enact on that feeling, and then you get a result. So I truly believe that we are able to control a little bit about how we feel because of the thoughts that we're bringing to ourselves. So again, my first belief, procrastination, I don't think is about productivity. I really, really believe is about feelings. My second belief is I don't like the word hate. I'm just using it for a fact because, of course, I've been in advertising for 22 years. I need to grab attention. So I truly dislike the way that we have been taught how to manage our time. It's not about time management, guys. It's about mind management. It's how you manage and train your brain to use the time that you have available to do something. So second belief, I don't believe in time management. I believe in mind management. And the third thing that I believe is that our brain, it's a little child. You don't have to have children to understand this visualization. Running crazy without supervision with a knife in their hands. I know it's a little bit graphic, but bear with me so I can make a point here. Since very dangerous, horrifying that a little child is you want that situation to stop, right? Immediately. But first of all, let's stop for a second and think about the things that you will do to make the child stop. If you scream, they may drop the knife, cut themselves, run. Who knows? If you scream and react immediately, something could happen. If you leave and you're like, I cannot deal with this. I need to move. I need to cover my eyes. This cannot happen. If you ignore what's happening, then you don't know what could happen with that child, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that we need to be prepared for that situation. We need to train our brain to understand and be aware of what's happening so we can understand and be prepared for the things that are going to come to our lives. That's our brain, my friends. It's a child with a knife. So understanding that this child needs to be trained, and it is funny because she's actually a friend and a client of mine. She's like, Andrea, my brain doesn't have a knife. It has a machete. It will be pronounced in Spanish. Big, sharp machete. So it is time for us to teach our brain to take care of ourselves and to prepare so we don't have impulsive reactions or avoid what's happening. It's more about, second point, understanding the F word. And I'm not talking about the F word, but the F word of feelings. We need to really understand that feelings is not just the happy ones. You cannot go through life, life is 50-50. Because if sadness doesn't exist, happiness will not exist. So we need to embrace feelings, both that are good and the ones that are not so good. And we need to use the thoughts about those feelings so you can be prepared for next things that could happen in your life. And the last one, I know is very cliche. I know everyone says it, but it's so freaking true. The only thing that you need in order for you to move forward is courage. That's it. Because courage allows you to act not because you're fearful, but rather act despite your fears. You need to acknowledge you have fear, but with courage, you acknowledge it's there, you understand that you're feeling about it, and you act on it. So those are little things that I believe. Let's take another deep breath. Pause and understand what we're talking about. So far, 3 things that I believe. I'm not asking you to believe in it immediately, but just think about them because they could change how you see procrastination, and maybe it could make you feel a little bit better about yourself. Love yourself, embrace yourself, love who you are and who you have become. And that procrastination piece is part of who you are. So deal with it. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips, as I promised from the beginning, answering the question on how to stop fighting this procrastination thing and just help you to feel a little bit better. The first ones are training your brain with 2 switches that I'm going to explain immediately. I have to assume that you have asked yourself at some point, what should I do now? How do I do this? And the answer comes immediately. Well, I don't know. I please ask you to stop using I don't know forever. I know it's crazy. I know it's a little bit extreme, but don't say that. Instead of saying I don't know, just train your brain to say, I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. So if somebody asks you, hey, how's your business doing? What are you doing to do that? The answer is like, I don't know. The answer should be, oh, I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. I don't have an answer right now for you, but the moment I have it, I'll let you know. Your brain immediately starts thinking differently. The I don't know makes it a fact. The I'm working on it makes your brain start thinking about the things that it needs. Your brain is beautiful. And it has 2 parts. Scientifically, you have your forecontent. So the part in your brain that thinks and plans is the one that is going to start being this is the one that is going to be used to answer that question. I'm working on it. So that's the first thing. Never, ever answer again, I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. Something like that. The second thing is never ask your brain, yourself, anyone else, how long do you think this task is going to take? Because it could be infinite. Instead, try to say how much time I'm giving myself to complete that task, and be okay with not having 100% of it. So instead of saying, how long is it going to take me to polish the floor? Because I really need to get on it. The question will be, or the fact or the answer you're giving to your brain will be, I'm going to give myself an hour. Whatever I can do in an hour, it's done. So your brain starts planning and thinking differently on how you manage your time. It's not you have enough time to do everything. Is what can you do in that amount of time that you gave yourself? So those are the 2 first little tips. Never answer I don't know, and never ask how long will this task will take. Just how much time I'm going to give myself to complete this task. So now I develop some fun and some interesting things to really enjoy procrastination. And I created a recommended list of 7.5, because it's not 8. I didn't finish the 8th one. So it's just 7.5 ways you can feel better when you're a procrastinator. I have it here, and I'm going to briefly go over them. But I'm going to ask you at the end of the presentation that if you want more details about the things that I'm sharing in this list, join my newsletter. I'm going to send you the link, and I'll send you a PDF with more details about each one of them. So let's start over this list. Everyone good so far?
Yes,
Breathing?
and we
Yep.
want to make sure that you give us some time for some questions, yeah?
Absolutely.
It's already 9:22.
I think, okay, 9:22. So I'm going to go really, really quick into this one. Number one, you're a procrastinator. Own it. So what? You're not lazy. You're not slow. You're not sick. You're a procrastinator. You're the leader of tomorrow. See, that's kind of silly, but it's funny. It makes me laugh. Number two, change the way you talk to yourself. Did you know that the Dalai Lama was a procrastinator? So if he was a procrastinator, and still embraces his procrastination, then we're okay. Look who's talking right now. He was a student that didn't want to finish his homework. So there you go. So if the Dalai Lama, it's okay. We're going to be okay. Number three, plan to procrastinate. This has changed my life. You're going to work for 2 hours. Then at the end of those 2 hours, put it in your calendar. Only 10 minutes to procrastinate. That's it. You can do whatever you want in those 10 minutes, but it's already scheduled, right? So you put it, procrastinate, and then, it's time to procrastinate. Grab your phone, walk around, do whatever you want. So plan to procrastinate and stick to the plan. Number four, procrastinate with purpose. So if you decided I'm going to procrastinate 10 minutes right now, I do it with a purpose. What I do is not just sit and scroll on Instagram. What I do is go and find articles on how to organize my closet, or how can I support veganism organizations, or how can I stop doing this? So procrastinate with a purpose. Number five, take naps. That's mandatory. When you feel you want to procrastinate, grab a pillow and take a 15-minute nap. So it's either a 15-minute to 30-minute nap or a 90-minute nap, nothing in between. So I don't want to do this, go take a nap. Number six, so important. If a task takes you only 1 minute, just do it. 1 minute is nothing. I need to send this email, 1 minute. But if it takes you more than 1 minute, you plan for it later. But if it's just 1 minute, just do it. Number seven, use tools, apps, everything. We're not cavemen. You have calendars, you have digital calendars, you have printed calendars, you have tools in your disposal. You can search online, you can talk to people. We are not animals or rocks or cavemen. So use tools. And number seven, there was something else I wanted to recommend you, but I'll do it later. That's have fun with being a procrastinator. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you. And no matter if you're a perfectionist, a warrior, a rebel, because you're going to find all those ideas online. If you're a dreamer, if you're a crisis maker, if you're undecided, what you need to do is to embrace who you are, have the courage to understand that's who you are, and use it in your advantage. So that's where I am. I have some things that, please, 3 things that you could help with. You can download the 7.5 Ways to Feel Better. I'll send you the link. You can contact me for a free sample session. It's a 30-minute session. A true coaching session with you is all about you. And you have to do something to stop racism. Those are the 3 calls that I have. I have details about the link. I have details about where to send for a sample session. And I have ideas on how to do something about racism. Speak out, contact your government, donate, sign petitions, and most importantly, for us white people, learn and have hard conversations about what racism is.
Awesome.
That's it for today. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Awesome.
Andrea, thank you so much. That you are a powerful seed of love, contribution, and empowerment. Thank you so much. That I really love the opportunity of look at myself as a procrastinator and plan it, and stick to the plan anyway. Thank you so much for that. Sorrel, how are you? What's there for you, Sorrel?
I'm going to take a nap right now. Let's open it up for questions, man. They all want a piece of Andrea Villa.
Perfect. Go ahead, Sheila.
All right, Andrea, that was really great. I really did love scheduling my procrastination, because you do procrastinate. We're home all day if you're a business owner or whatever. And so I just wanted to say thank you. I am a napper. I take a 90-minute nap.
There you go.
Every
Awesome.
single, I told Mark that yesterday, that I'm a big time napper. And so I just wanted to say thank you. I never quite got the context of actually creating procrastination and including it. And then I really want to acknowledge you for including the training your brain, because you can retrain your brain and take different actions or new actions. So I just want to say thank you. It was great today.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you, Sheila. Go ahead, Adriana.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm feeling so proud you are born in Colombia, my place. Okay, Andrea, my question is, how you apply this concept to teenagers? Because I manage a group of teenagers, and the way we are raised is that you feel guilty for postponing tasks or doing things. How you manage this concept with kids, with teenagers?
Adriana, to be honest with you, I will not change the approach. We as kids never were taught the right way of managing time management or procrastination or finances. So what we need to do truly is the same way that you as an adult are taught right now and trying to change your brain, do the same with your kids. I have 2 teenagers. I actually allow them to procrastinate, because if they are that way, it's not telling them that there's something wrong with them. There's not something wrong with you. You're perfect the way you are. You need to understand your challenges. You need to understand who you are. And that the way of talking to kids, I believe, is the same way that you should be talking to adults. So my recommendation will be the same thing. I try to do it with my teenagers. Sometimes, again, doesn't work, but they are still developing their brains, which we need to give them a little bit of just breathing room. Don't too much, don't force too much the theory and the thinking, but it's just same way. I will not change anything.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Adriana, and thank you, Andrea, for the opportunity of looking at procrastination. It's a deeper conversation that we tend to look at, and it's a conversation that is there every day, because I feel that most of the people on this call and most of the people who dare to listen to something like the Daily Huddle, they're up to something. And whatever they're up to, it matters to them. And yet, for a lot of us, a whole day goes by and we feel like we didn't do much. Nothing really got done. And it has something to do with what you were saying. It's about understanding the way my brain works rather than making myself wrong.
Yep.
And putting those little things during the day, my time for procrastinate, my time for my nap, and plan to stick to the plan anyway. So thank you so much for the opportunity of this conversation. And certainly I'm going to be giving you a call for the opportunity of that session.
Absolutely.
Sorrel, take us home.
Mark Ham has one last question. Mark, go for it.
Andrea, what you were talking about today is spot on. And I want to know how to put it in a bottle and sell it. Meaning everybody that I deal with needs to hear what you just said. Everybody procrastinates, and it slows up what I need to do. So how can I get you to speak to the people I know? What do I have to do? Do I have to book you?
Yes, that will be it. And we can do it. What I do, and I've been doing on a monthly basis, I do free webinars. My whole thing is just, I don't need to monetize this knowledge because it's going to help us all. So free webinars, free sessions, we can do that. And then when you start spreading the word, then it could become a business and some monetary at the end. But my whole goal right now is to share this knowledge. So let's just talk.
Please send me the information on the webinar so I can invite 1,000 people to it because they need to hear this.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks, Andrea.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Mark, this is the perfect note to end this on, right? When it comes to procrastination, I always think that other people procrastinate and I don't. I always think that when other people procrastinate, it messes me up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm inviting all of you to really take on what Andrea created for us today. I am a procrastinator.
I am a procrastinator.
And I love it. I am a procrastinator, and it never stops me. You know, so the word for the day is simply this. I am a human being, therefore I procrastinate. And it's only that, you know, there's sometimes I'm doing what I said I would do, and there's sometimes I'm doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Giovanni pointed to it. If I make myself wrong, and then I'll sit there and try to figure out how not to procrastinate, which now takes me completely away from what I'm committed.
Absolutely.
So, Andrea, as a procrastinator, what do you want to say to close it off?
To close it off, have the courage to understand who you are, accept who you are, love who you are, and don't procrastinate on things that matter. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone.
you.
How do we share information? I can contact you both, Giovanni and Sorel. Maybe I can share that with the team.
Drop
via
info in the chat too.
Okay, I'll do it right now. So email is this one. And please subscribe to my newsletter if you want to get weekly funny things about procrastination, which is the second one.
Awesome, Andrea. Thank you so much. Please put it on Facebook as well. And everybody, thank you for being here. Have a phenomenal rest of the day and a phenomenal rest of the week. We love you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Awesome.
guys. Thank you.
Great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you.